romance readers. I am Liz Donatelli. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance, the #1 romance novel talk show on YouTube. USA Today best-selling and award-winning romance author Priscilla Oliveras joins me to discuss her contemporary Latinx romance, West Side Love Story. And Priscilla plays Quickies Q&A. Enjoy, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hi, Priscilla. Welcome back to Reader Seeks Romance.
Hi. Hola, everyone. I'm so excited. I had such a great time with you last year. Thank you so much for the invite.
Congratulations on the release of West Side Love Story. According to Entertainment Weekly, reading a Priscilla Oliveras book is like being wrapped in a warm hug, and West Side Love Story is no exception. So, first question, what would you say is the source of the warm hug quality of your novels?
Oh, wow. First of all, I was thrilled. Even just hearing it again, that's so thankful. It's such a sweet description. So I'm really thankful for it. I think mostly I write romance. I tend to write, a little sweeter, closed door, but really, like, my hope with every book is that by the time readers get to the end, they feel like they have made new friends and they've experienced a little bit of the Latinx culture that that's prevalent throughout the book, but that they felt like welcomed and at home, and that it's a book that lands on their keeper shelf because they want to revisit with the familia and those characters again, and get a hug from them, in the story. So to me, it was just a blessing to get that review, that thought from Entertainment Weekly, because that's what I strive for in my books anyway, just to come, welcome, sit down, bienvenido, sit on the couch, get something from the fridge and make some new friends.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that blurb because I feel like it so encapsulates the essence, the vibe of your work is that warmth, whether it's, between family or between lovers, there's a warmth, there's a comfortability, there's like a snuggliness, So I thought that was right on. You might have to put on your website, Priscilla Warm Hugs Oliveras. Your nickname's Warm Hugs.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so West Side Love Story is my kind of homage to my love of Shakespeare and musicals based off of Shakespeare. The whole series, really, like the Queens of Mariachi series is, because they're all Shakespeare's. I don't like to say a retelling. It's like a reimagining. I tried really hard. I kind of challenged myself to hold true to hit like some of the beats, some of the tenets that anybody who is a fan of Romeo and Juliet or a fan of West Side, Story, that they'll notice, like specific beats or characters, or like a meshing of characters, while at the same time making the story my own. Obviously, one change is it's a romance. So, not a spoiler alert, there is at least an HFN, a happy for now, or an HEA, happily ever after, at the end of it. There are three main threads: the romance between Mariana and Angelo, the feud between the patriarchs that stems from Hugo and Papo, the Capuleta father, used to be best friends, and then a woman came between them, and then also they were trying to start like a commercial property business. And so Hugo Montero, because the woman chose Papo, Hugo Montero kind of turned his back. And so there's been a rift between them. And they're now like on different sides of the gentrification battle line in the city.
Yeah.
And then there's also the battle of the mariachi bands. And Mariana and her sisters, they're a female mariachi band, Mariachi Las Nubes, which means the clouds. And they entered this battle because their parents own, it's an apartment building, but on the first floor is a community center where they teach music and there's art, but there is an all-girl mariachi class. That's really important. And the building is in some repair, is in disrepair, it needs some. So the parents need some money, and the girls enter the battle,
Right.
determined to win, to get money to help restore the community center and keep it, and in the battle, one of their competitors is the band that Angelo is in, that his uncle, who is, the nemesis. So it's like a battle, and then so there are a bunch of threads. It was also important to me, and in all of my books, like a realistic portrayal of Latinx familias and people within our comunidad who, are struggling and dealing with conflicts, but they are attaining their goals and they are, living happy lives. Our stories are more than just our struggles.
What came to you first? Was it the Romeo and Juliet-esque love story? Was it the idea of this all-female mariachi band of sisters?
The genesis for the story really online, I saw a news segment that, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, Sabrina Soul shared it with me. And it was about an interview of an all-female mariachi band out in California. And the minute I saw it, it just looked like what happened. Like just this idea came to me of these sisters that not by blood, but by choice, and forming a band. And my papi is from San Antonio, so I knew, gosh, I would definitely set it in his hometown, because whenever I think of familia and anything important for our family, on my dad's side, it happens in San Antonio or around San Antonio, kind of in that. So I knew that's where I wanted the Capuleta sisters to be, and from that, from the idea of the sisters, then I did what, I just started asking myself that all important author question: what if? The music itself, I mean, I've grown up listening to on my father's side, right? Like a lot of mariachi, a lot of rancheras, a lot of Mexican polkas, also country music, because he's, from that Tex-Mex. Then on my mom's side, like in our house at any given time, there's going to be some country western, there's going to be some Vicente Fernandez, then throw in some Ricky Martin and salsa and merengue, right? If there's kind of like, the music selection is varied in Casa Oliveras. So music wise, I kind of grown up listening to it, but the research wise, like I did a lot online. I always like try to listen to different podcasts. I actually took a master. I signed up for like those master classes. And like I took I sat through some master classes on songwriting, and performing, especially like for Catalinas. In the next one, I watched a lot of, documentaries about life on the road and from songwriters. I reached out to the director of Mariachi Las Salteñas in San Antonio, and we texted. We could never, so I won't say we didn't have like a full length conversation on the phone. We just kept kind of like our times would kind of get mixed up. But so then what I would resort to, like, they have stuff up on YouTube and other groups on YouTube, and try to listen to a lot of their interviews, anything that I could find. Ideally, yes, you want to be able to talk with someone in the industry. So it's kind of a mix. And then really when I'm writing, I'm always listening to mariachi music and a lot of rancheras, and with a lot of females, and then a mix of male as well, just some of my favorites.
At the beginning, you dedicate the book to your grandparents. You named Mariana's the Capuleta parents. You named them after your grandparents, correct? So that's that's such a lovely tribute, and that connects to the warm hugs quality of your book, that you would honor your grandparents in that way and have them, a part of your work. So did you imbue any characteristics of your grandparents into Arturo and Berta?
In a lot of the parents, there are shades of my mommy and papi. What I would say is how I view Arturo and Berta, Capuleta, and my grandparents, my papi's parents were Arthur and Bertha. So that's how I got the names. But their idea, like their community center, like being the place where everybody comes and has their parties, and that's how my grandparents' house was on C Street, which is where Angelo at one point mentions in the book, growing up at a house on C Street. Like that's my papi. Papi grew up on C Street with his 8 brothers and sisters. There are a lot of locations throughout the book that have some kind of tie to my familia. Rounds 2 and 3 in the Battle of the Mariachi Bands take place at the Majestic Theater. It's a National Historic Landmark that used to be a movie theater. Today they have concerts. It's where the Broadway series has their performances. But back when my papi was a 15-year-old and working, a part-time job, papi was an usher at the Majestic Theater. And so I just shared a picture of papi in his usher uniform with my newsletter subscribers. I feel like because I had that personal connection, hopefully that also bled onto the page and comes out.
You're a very rich storyteller. The emotions that come out on the page come from somewhere, and it's from you. Warm hugs, Priscilla Oliveras. So in your acknowledgements, I was impressed by the number of people that you thank as having contributed to the writing of West Side Love Story. So you mentioned your sister, you mentioned other authors. Who do you go to for what and when?
It could probably change with every book. I'll say my sister is one of my main brainstorming partners. And there have been times, because we talk pretty much every day, maybe even a couple times a day. So she's got like her finger on the pulse of what's happening, daily, what I'm writing.
Okay.
And so there have been times where like I'm stuck with a specific scene. And also my sister reads as I'm writing, probably like once a week or every couple of weeks, I send her what I've done. And I guess I should have said, like, my process is not throw up on the page and get a fast draft. I edit a little bit as I go. So by the time I get to the end, I've already given it at least one pass and it's kind of smoothed over, mainly because, like I said, I send it to my sister, what I've written every week or 2 weeks. She reads it over just a couple, 2 or 3 days, gets it back to me with her thoughts. So I stop wherever I am and I read over those pages and then I revise them and then I start moving on again. So she is with me, like she knows where my characters are and what has really happened, already in the book. She's pretty much the only one at that stage. So when I like hit an issue, like a specific issue with the scene, we can talk it through, like, about, well, he could do this or he could do that, or, this person could have dropped, so she can get down to nitty gritty scene. At the same time, I have several groups, like I mentioned, like Farah and Quada were in one text thread talking throughout the day, almost every day. But then I also have the chicas in my Latinx group that we had virtual retreats, and everybody had a set time over a certain number of days, and we would brainstorm a book or whatever project they were working on. So bigger picture, those people have helped me like in the start. And then even 2 of my daughters, my first daughter and my youngest, I've picked their brains. And my first daughter has helped me with some big plot points in several books.
Wow. And again, this fits into your warm hugs brand, is that you have the people closest to you whose opinions you value offering their help. So there's a collaborative feel to the writing process. Again, warm hugs. What did you do right before this interview?
I am watching my grandpups. So I took them each for a walk.
What are you currently reading?
Ooh, I just started reading After Hours on Milagro Street by Angelina M. Lopez. It comes out in July. I am currently listening to Isn't It Bromantic by Lissa K. Adams. I'm loving it. It's the Russian story.
Yes.
And the narrator is fabulous. I just finished a few days ago, Farah Rashan's The Hookup Plan. Loved it.
My next question is, what's the last book you read? But it sounds like
I just answered that. Yes.
Which book is on your to be read pile?
Ooh, I have so many, but I have Not Again by Kwana Jackson
Okay.
and Something Wilder, the new Christina Lauren.
Oh, what are you currently writing?
Well, actually, I'm starting a new book that I don't know that I haven't. It's in the proposal stage, so
Okay.
my publisher has it, but I really love the idea. So, it's a new book. All I will say is that it's partially set in Puerto Rico,
Ooh,
in where my mommy was born and raised, where my mom was born and raised.
I am intrigued.
Yay! So I'm excited.
Which three items are always on hand when you write?
A cup of café con leche on top, and I'm going to put these together as one on my cup warmer because I'm a sipper. I'm not like a big drinker, so that cup of café con leche can last me 2 hours, right? So
okay.
instead of getting up to go warm it up again in the microwave, one of the best gifts one of my coworkers gave me is that cup warmer. So a cup of café con leche on my cup warmer. Probably either on my laptop or on my cell phone. I'm listening to either Spotify or Pandora, whatever music is I'm in the mood for. Lately, like I said, it's been a lot of mariachi and rancheras. Also a lot of K-drama soundtracks. And okay, so that's two. And then depending on the time of day and my deadline, is some kind of snack. It's either goldfish or it's popcorn. Or Trader Joe's dark chocolate covered coffee beans. Those are a lifesaver when I'm like down to the wire because you can only drink so much coffee. But those chocolate covered coffee beans, dark chocolate covered coffee beans from Trader Joe's help me become the Energizer bunny when I really need to be.
Which is more difficult for you to write? The opening line of a novel or the very last line?
The opening.
Aha. Interesting.
As a writer, for me, starting the book, those imposter syndrome doubts are the loudest for me at the beginning of the book. And so it takes, I try to quiet them by like, okay, maybe I need to do more research, or I'm a plotter, not a pantser, so like, do I have a set idea? Wait, maybe I need to do a little more character work, right? Mostly like that. Those doubts about, are you sure you know what you're doing? Mommy and Papi, one year for Christmas, they reached out to my editor and got the files for the covers of my first 5 books. And she made a little collage and framed it in a 5x7 frame. So that's on my desk. Like, see, you've done it before. You can do this, right?
Yeah.
And so starting takes me a while, but then once I get started, then it's like by the end of the book, the only issue that I have really is that my deadline is probably right around the corner. And it's like this movie inside here, and I'm trying to get it just right on the page.
What will you do right after our interview ends?
Right after? Well, I have not eaten dinner, so I'll probably go grab a bite. And I have a bottle of wine that has been on the counter all week. And I've been kind of like testing myself, like, do I need to open that bottle of wine tonight or can I wait? So we'll see if tonight is the night that I open that bottle of wine I treat myself to a glass.
I think you've earned it. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Reader Seeks Romance.
It's always fun getting to chat with you. I'm looking forward to the time when we're chatting face to face, but in person.
Yes, me too.